We will soon be making a major announcement that will impact all of the upcoming conferences and every aspect of our work with Flip Learning. We've been carefully reviewing the evolution of Flip Learning for the last 2 years and have made some important observations that require us to adapt. The education community's attention tends to follow the next new thing. The new thing tends to be defined by buzzwords, or as we'll say, the new things buzzwords. Like makerspace, growth mindset, personalized learning, standards-based grading, learning styles, digital natives, and MOOCs. But chasing the next new thing often causes us to overlook the really good things that work. Many people see Flip Learning as an old thing with nothing new. This is the crowd that says, I already know Flip Learning. And let's be honest, Flip Learning has become one of those buzzwords. So it's time to change. As many of you know, my first book on Flip Learning was entitled Flip Your Classroom. But often we've ignored that there is a subtitle to that book. And the subtitle is this: Reach every student in every class every day. I fear that what we've done is we've focused on the buzzword of Flip Learning and we've forgotten the point. The point of Flip Learning is to reach every student in every class every day. That is the whole point. So today, I'm announcing that we're going to flip Learning and not focus on the buzzwords, but focus on the real outcomes, which is reaching every student in every class, like every day. This moves us to talk less about the buzzwords like Flip Learning, Flip Classrooms, Flip Lessons, In-Class Flip, and Flip Mastery, and now talk more directly about the problems Flip Learning solves in the classrooms. To talk less about the fundamentals of Flip Learning and talk more about the steady stream of innovations in Flip Classrooms that are improving learning across the world. To talk less about how to flip successfully, to talk more about how to get the results every teacher wants through Flip Learning. To talk less about Flip Learning, the operating system, to talk more about the amazing applications you can use when you flip your class. In short, it's time to flip how we think about Flip Learning, how we talk about Flip Learning, and how we teach Flip Learning. And this makes a big difference because reaching every student in every class every day was important 50 years ago. It's important today, and it will be important 50 years from now when the term flipped learning has come and gone. So how are we going to do this? We're starting by shifting the focus of our conferences from flipped learning to reaching every student in every class every day. And as part of that plan, we're going to change the name from FlipCon to ResCon. This change is not just window dressing, because at ResCon, we're going to reprioritize the focus of the conference. We're going to reframe our message, align sessions to solve the biggest issues facing teachers and schools. We're going to focus on innovation. And of course, all of this is still powered by Flip Learning 3.0. But this year at ResCon Australia and ResCon New Zealand, we will draw a bright line between the future of Flip Learning and the past. Professor Eric Mazur at Harvard University is one of the fathers of Flip Learning, and here's what Eric said in a recent talk with us.
A lot of people have a rather naive conception of it, thinking that Flip Learning is simply watching videos before class. That's it, boom, done. But I think as we've discussed, it's a much deeper process.
Eric is right. In just the last 6 months, I discovered dozens of powerful new strategies, techniques, and tools that teachers are using to reach every student that I didn't know anything about. So let me share with you what I've been learning. I learned that making homework a social experience is much more important than I realized, and discovered how flipped teachers are socializing the pre-class work. I learned how a powerful tech tool produces confusion reports that help flip teachers know exactly what the students are not understanding. I found a new way that Flip teachers are partnering with students to identify and teach the most difficult parts of tough subjects. My eyes were opened to a whole new world of creative ways that teachers are combining teaching strategies in flipped classrooms to reach students and unlock new possibilities. I observed that even in flipped classrooms, most teachers still struggle with differentiation, but then some teachers have figured out how to use artificial intelligence to differentiate in flipped classrooms that are like super big, like 100 students. And then I learned that social emotional support for teachers may be the biggest barrier to flipped learning, and why we have to start with you, the teachers, by putting Maslow before Bloom's. This, my friends, is going to be big. And then some of the most geeky Flip teachers turned me on to a whole new universe of new tech tools and new ways to use tools like Flipgrid, Perusall, Google Tools, iLOS Video, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. I learned how some Flip teachers have moved away from the traditional grading and the creative new ways that they are shifting students' attention from getting good grades to authentic learning. I discovered a specific set of research-based strategies developed to reach dreadfully unmotivated students. Research-based in a flipped classroom. A group of teachers introduced me to a new strategy to move students from playing school to authentic learners. Another research study. Think about this. And Steve Griffiths from Australia showed me some research about light boards. The light board I'm using right now that I think every educational technologist and teacher in a flipped classroom needs to use. And I learned specific strategies flipped teachers are using to increase grit in flipped classrooms. And finally, a set of 13 teachers walked me through lesson planning strategies in their flipped classrooms, and one showed me how to use Bloom's in a new way I'd never ever thought before. You know, I only learned about these strategies because I was looking beyond what I already knew about flipped learning. And looking beyond what we think we know about flipped learning is the next frontier. You'll be hearing much, much more about this in the weeks ahead. But right now, we'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on what we've said? Whether you agree or you disagree, we'd love to hear from you. We've created a forum to post your comments and questions. So click on the link to share your thoughts and get answers to any questions that you might have. We're all very excited about flipping the way that we think about, talk about, and teach flipped learning. This is a significant evolution, and this year's conference is just the right time to make this shift. We hope you share our excitement and will join our mission to help every teacher reach every student in every class, every day.